Imagine just a simple list, written down years ago. Could shape like a whole career
Yeah.
and even lead to becoming a CEO.
Wow.
Well, that's the power of goal setting, and that's what we're going to be exploring today through uh, Julia Stewart's journey.
Okay.
And she's the founder of Alerx. She's a 68-year-old CEO,
Yeah.
and she was the first woman to lead IHOP.
I mean, talk about impressive.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But we're not just focusing on basic goal-setting tips.
Okay.
We're going deeper than that.
Gotcha.
We're going to be taking a look at how Stewart's list of goals has evolved over 50 years. So we're going to touch on her career, her personal life, and giving back.
It's fascinating to see how this list really acted as like a living document,
Yeah.
changing alongside her priorities as her life went on.
Right.
And I think what's really striking is this shift from early career goals.
Yeah.
Very much focused on, I got to climb that ladder.
Uh-huh.
I got to work at Burger King. I got to move my way up
Right.
to something much, much bigger than that.
Yeah, early on, she was all about getting more responsibility and more accountability.
It's that classic ambition.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
a lot of us listening can relate to that.
Absolutely, yeah.
But then once she reached that coveted CEO position.
Yeah, you would think. Like, okay, conquer even bigger mountains.
Yeah, more.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's where it gets really, really intriguing, I think.
Okay.
This wasn't about just, ticking off achievements.
Right.
It was a genuine shift in her perspective on what success even means.
Okay.
And we see this in her own words.
Okay.
She says, quote, "It's much more about me making certain that in my day-to-day, I'm helping others and making a difference."
Wow.
This wasn't just about her anymore.
And this shift makes you wonder, was it just like a natural progression
Yeah.
as she reached the top, or was there some specific turning point
Yeah.
that really sparked this change?
That's a great question. And while the material doesn't point to one defining moment, there is a clear connection to her upbringing.
Okay.
Both of her parents were teachers.
Oh, wow.
And they instilled in her a sense of service and giving back. It's
Right.
like those values were simmering in the background, and they became more and more prominent.
As her career ambitions were fulfilled.
Exactly.
So it wasn't just reaching the mountaintop. It was realizing there's a whole landscape beyond it.
It's a bigger picture.
Yeah. And helping others navigate that landscape became like her new focus.
Exactly.
Okay, now the materials also emphasize how committed she was to writing down these evolving goals.
Yeah.
This might seem simple, but there's actually research backing its effectiveness.
Really?
Yeah, people who write down their goals, they're statistically more likely to achieve them.
Wow.
And it's not just Julia Stewart.
Yeah.
We see this with other successful figures like Damon John,
Oh.
Richard Branson.
Interesting.
Okay, so putting pen to paper makes a difference.
It does.
But is there like a method to the madness?
Right.
How do we as listeners,
Yeah.
make this work for us?
Well, think of it as clarifying your vision.
Okay.
It's about getting those aspirations out of your head
Mm-hmm.
and onto something tangible, something real.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the method itself can vary.
Okay.
Some people like bullet points. Some people like mind maps.
Yeah.
Some people need detailed plans.
Right.
Whatever clicks for you.
Okay.
But the key is that act of defining what you want,
Yeah.
which then fuels action.
And I'm guessing this ties into accountability, right?
Oh, absolutely.
If it's just floating around up in your mind,
Yeah.
it's easier to let it slide.
Yeah, you can forget about it.
But a written goal that stares you right back in the face
It does.
every time you see it.
Precisely. It becomes a commitment.
Yeah.
It's a roadmap for your journey,
Uh-huh.
and it allows you to break down those larger aspirations
Okay.
into smaller, achievable steps.
Right.
So instead of feeling overwhelmed by the enormity of a goal,
Right.
you have manageable milestones, which build momentum
Yeah.
and motivation.
Now, while her goals evolved over time,
Uh-huh.
there are these three elements that have remained constant on her list for decades.
Wow.
Take care of my mind, body, and soul, paying it forward, and always be learning. And they almost sound philosophical.
They are.
Yeah.
And I think this is where her approach goes beyond just career success.
Okay.
These are principles for a fulfilling life, period.
Sure.
It's acknowledging that well-being is essential,
Yeah.
that contributing to something larger than yourself
Uh-huh.
that brings meaning
Right.
and continuous learning is key to growth.
And how do these timeless principles play out in her current goals?
Yeah.
Like, what is she actually working towards now?
That's where we see these principles in action, and that's what we'll be diving into next. So her current goals, they're a fascinating mix.
Okay.
Building Alerx into a top wellness app, mentoring women from all walks of life, and prioritizing family.
Wow.
It's like she's weaving together those core principles with a tangible vision for her impact.
It's interesting, it's not just about hitting those traditional markers of success.
Right.
There's this desire to empower others, especially women,
Yeah.
which aligns with that whole paying it forward thing.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is how she integrates family into this whole mix.
Right.
It's not about compartmentalizing life.
Yeah.
It's finding ways to make those different aspects work together.
I mean, she's not just talking about family time.
Yeah.
The article mentions her daughter is actually working with her at Alerx.
Oh, wow.
So it's about shared purpose,
Yeah.
bringing family into the fold of her ambitions.
It challenges that traditional notion of work-life balance, doesn't it?
It does.
It's more about work-life integration, where those elements complement and enrich each other.
And it makes you wonder how many of us actually factor that into our goals.
Yeah.
Is it all about climbing that career ladder?
Uh-huh.
Or are we thinking about how our aspirations can benefit our families,
Right.
our communities?
It's a crucial question, and it's where Julia Stewart's journey offers a different perspective.
Okay.
It's not just about reaching the top,
Uh-huh.
but about the climb itself
Right.
and who you bring along with you.
Speaking of the climb,
Yeah.
there's that constant theme of always be learning.
Always be learning.
How does that manifest in her current phase?
Right.
I mean, she's already achieved so much.
Well, it's about continuous growth, even at the top.
Okay.
The article mentions she's actively involved in several organizations focused on health and wellness.
Oh, wow.
She's not just resting on her laurels, she's actively seeking out new knowledge and experiences.
It's like reaching the summit and realizing there are even higher peaks out there.
Yeah.
Or maybe even different mountain ranges altogether.
Right.
It's about maintaining that curiosity
Yeah.
and that drive to learn.
And that ties back to the idea of a life list being a living document.
Yeah.
It's not about setting goals in stone.
Wow.
It's about allowing them to evolve with you, reflecting your growth and changing priorities.
So it's not just about ticking off boxes.
Nope.
It's about using those achievements as stepping stones to bigger, bolder aspirations.
Exactly.
And those aspirations may change just like you do.
Exactly. It's a mindset shift
Oops.
from achieving goals to living a goal-oriented life.
Right.
And that's something Julia Stewart embodies. She's
Yeah.
constantly pushing herself,
Yeah.
exploring new horizons,
Uh-huh.
all while staying true to those core principles.
Her story also highlights this element of long-term vision.
Right.
This isn't about overnight success.
No.
It's about decades of dedication,
Yeah.
constantly refining her goals,
Mm-hmm.
adapting to new challenges.
Mm-hmm.
It's that consistency that's truly impressive.
And it's a reminder that real lasting success, it
Yeah.
takes time.
Yeah.
It's about small steps, consistent effort,
Right.
and that unwavering commitment to your vision.
And amidst all this ambition and achievement, there's that constant thread of take care of my mind, body, and soul.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how does she manage that?
Yeah.
Alongside building businesses, mentoring family.
That's where things get really interesting, and that's what we'll be diving into next.
It's almost a paradox, isn't it?
It is.
Like this drive to achieve, to build, to constantly push forward,
Mm-hmm.
all while taking care of yourself.
Right.
So how do those two things coexist in her world?
That's where we see the nuance in her approach.
Okay.
It's not about rejecting ambition.
Uh-huh.
It's about recognizing that well-being is the foundation for everything else.
Right. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
So it's not about sacrificing one for the other.
Right.
It's about finding a way to integrate them.
Exactly. And the materials don't give us her daily routine or anything,
Okay.
but they do highlight her commitment to fitness and healthy eating.
Uh-huh.
It's about making those things non-negotiable,
Right.
even amidst a hectic schedule.
It's almost like she's saying, yes, I have these big goals,
Mhm.
these ambitious goals,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to burn myself out trying to reach them.
Yeah. You got to pace yourself.
There's a wisdom in that,
There is.
recognizing that sustainability is key to long-term success.
Absolutely.
And this ties back to that whole mind, body, and soul idea.
It does.
It's not just about physical health,
right.
but also mental and emotional well-being.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
It's about finding those practices that nourish you,
Okay.
whether it's meditation or spending time in nature or simply taking breaks to recharge.
Yeah, it's a reminder that achieving goals
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't come at the expense of your health or your happiness.
Absolutely.
It's about finding that balance,
Yeah.
that sweet spot where you can pursue your ambitions
Uh-huh.
while also taking care of yourself.
And that's a powerful message, I think, for anyone listening who
Right.
might be caught up in that hustle mentality.
Right.
It's about reframing success,
Okay.
recognizing that it's not just about the destination, it's about the journey itself.
Right. And that journey should be sustainable and fulfilling.
Exactly.
Julia Stewart's story really challenges us, I think,
It does.
to rethink our own approaches to goal setting.
Yeah.
It's not just about writing a list and checking things off. It's
Yeah.
about creating a roadmap for a life that's both successful and meaningful.
And it's about recognizing that this roadmap isn't set in stone.
Right.
It can and it should evolve
Uh-huh.
as you grow, as your priorities shift,
Right.
as you learn and experience new things.
So as we're wrapping up our deep dive into Julia Stewart's incredible journey,
Yeah.
what's that one key takeaway you'd want our listener to walk away with?
I think it's that even a simple list, consistently revisited and adapted, can have a profound impact on your life.
Wow.
It's about clarity, it's about commitment, it's about that constant evolution, but more importantly, it's about aligning your goals with your values.
Okay.
So that success is not just about achievement, it's about living a life that truly reflects who you are.
And to bring this full circle back to that simple list, what would be the 3 things you'd encourage our listener to write down today?
I would say focus on 3 key areas.
Okay.
What do you want to achieve? What brings you joy and nourishes your well-being?
Right.
And how do you want to make a positive impact on the world around you?
Write those down.
Mm-hmm.
Keep them somewhere visible and let them be your guide.
That's great advice.
And remember, this list is not set in stone.
Right.
Revisit it, refine it.
Keep it fresh.
Yeah. And let it evolve with you, who knows, maybe decades from now.
Yeah.
You'll be sharing your own inspiring story.
Exactly.
How its simple list shaped your life.
Yeah.